All Atmas. Today on this Sunday evening, we are going to discuss on how ego disturbs peace in the family. So, the expansion of ego is ejection of godliness out from us. So, the godly nature in human being is what? Patience, perseverance, dedication, devotion, involvement, kindness, generosity, understanding nature, contentment. All these are all godly nature in us. So, when these are rejected, what is left behind for this ego is anger, jealousy, hatredness, cunning, crooked, vengeance attitude. These are all the characteristics of ego. And one of the primary thing is greed, desire, and the most important thing is avarice for power. All these things. Actually, what is the cause for this ego? Mainly, how it arises. So, before knowing that, what is the tool responsible for activating this ego in us is our buddhi, that is intellect. Intellect is in the head. When this intellect, actually what it happens, it operates in the mind consciousness. This mind consciousness from head to inner Atma, absolute inner Atma stage, supreme stage. The mind consciousness has got four levels: sensual consciousness, ego consciousness, Atma consciousness, and supreme consciousness. These are the four levels of consciousness. So, this buddhi, our intellect, will oscillate in these four levels of consciousness. So, every person who is in a waking state, his buddhi may remain in any of these four states. And commonly, when you're moving, normally it is it is like a common compound. It just remains in the Atma consciousness. That's all. Simply, it doesn't have any liking, disliking, and just carry on it day-to-day works. But when situation comes, it varies. So, what is the cause and what is the effect of ego? Well, the main cause for ego in us is it because when we being a social being, we are in communication with the external world. In the external world, there are many things that have got attraction towards us. The attraction may be towards a person or an object. So, once we see anything, see any person or see any object, right from young children, the first thing what it gets is it gets attracted by it. The attraction takes place at the sensual level. Once you get attracted, that thought of attraction, when it continues, it takes the buddhi to the next level of ego consciousness, where the desire is born. And when this desire is continuously thought over, what happens? It gets converted into greed. So normally a desire, when it is fulfilled, because desires are unlimited, unending. One desire is fulfilled, you get another desire. Suppose, for instance, if you do a business activity where you get certain income, and especially when you deal with share market or anything, once you put some money and get income, immediately you put more money to see more income. So you want to. So what happens? The desire converts into a greed. You want to earn more income, more income. So in that, once you start getting positive results, you become overconfident. That leads to taking wrong decisions, which leads to ultimate failure that causes dejections and all. So this happens in the ego conscious level: desire, greed. And lust is mainly because of attraction to the opposite sex, when we get the desire to have them. And avarice is particularly on the power and position, power at home or power in the social position, like entering into a political life where you want to reach a great heights in politics or whatever position you want to achieve. Even in office also, you may want to reach great heights high position, but you have to come through normal route. But through ego, you pull down somebody and you want to go up. These are all negative characteristics of ego. This Atma consciousness, when the buddhi goes to Atma consciousness, there is a question of understanding what other person, why is behaving, why is hitting anger on me. So you try to the Atma consciousness and the buddhi goes, it understands this situation and it reacts accordingly. In Supreme Consciousness, when the buddhi goes, the God conscious level, you have having experienced God consciousness, you will see the other person, the God in them, but their attitude, their behavior may be very childish, in the sense you see them as childish. They are even if they are very evil, their evil thoughts, their evil actions, but still you feel childish because of ignorance only they are doing these evil acts, because of attachment, because of expectation. You understand that and you become magnanimous, you become generous at that stage. And that is the stage of Supreme Consciousness. So this is the Buddhist oscillation. So we have seen the cause and effect. So cause is desire that converts into greed, and power and position, avarice, and the lust for opposite sex, where you there are many battles in our Greek mythology. You can know Helen of Troy. For a woman, beautiful woman Helen, many Greek people have fought. Trojan War has taken place, where so many people got killed because of women. Because that is lust is a very powerful negative element of ego, which takes one to the greatest extent of committing murders, destroying the country. Like that it has happened in the past, in our history. So these negative factors of ego. Let us now see how it has had implications in our family life. Say, in our family, these are all the various relations we come across. That is called husband and wife, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, mother and son, mother and daughter, father and son, father and daughter, brothers, brothers, sister, sister-in-law, father, father-in-law, mother, mother-in-law, grandmother, father, mother, grandmother, children, grandchildren. So grandfather, father, mother, grandchildren. Then about the cousins. Cousins means who? That is our uncles, paternal uncle or maternal uncle, their children, their paternal uncle and their children. They form other cousins and niece. So these are all the people whom we come across in our family. In big Hindu undivided families, most of the cousins all live together. But nowadays, the family structure has become minuscule, where the family tree contains only father, grandfather, father and children. These are the three categories. Even now it is coming reduced to father and children only. Even western side, once the children grows and they get married, they have been put separately. They are separate family, and father and mother alone live. So like that situations are changing because of the Western culture. But in olden days we have the Hindu undivided family, where great grandfathers till the great grandchildren all live together in a big family, like Hindu undivided family. In this, how this ego plays under each relationship, we have to see. Husband and wife relationship, how this ego plays. It's a very great havoc that we observe in our day-to-day life, where many people, husband and wife, because of ego, they go to the extent of filing divorce case in courts. Because so many divorce cases mainly occurring mainly because of the ego factor between husband and wife. They are unable to compromise on this ego, because they remain up to these two levels only. Where if both of them remain in these two levels, A and B together, there will be repulsion. When the repulsion is there, they cannot be. So they have to go deep next to the next level. Once they go to the Atma conscious level, they can able to come together. So in between husband and wife, for very silly things, for fairly silly reasons. Suppose husband and wife both are educated, both are employed. Because they are educated, the girl has got a lot of confidence on her, and she doesn't want to compromise if her individual respect has been she could not able to compromise. And suppose husband and wife, if wife is earning more than husband, then they get the complexities, inferiority, superiority complex that comes, and because of that, for silly things they fight, and they go to the extent of, okay, this fights, once it continues for a long time, they can't bear it, and they go to the extent of going for divorce. And we also see between husband and wife, because of dowry instances we see, where wife is very calm type, and she may be uneducated also, whereas husband and in-laws all together, they take do dowry harassment, and because unable to bear that, this girl commits suicide. That things are all we are seeing in the society. These are all mainly because of this. Why husband, mother-in-law are pouring kerosene and killing that girl? Because they want him to get married to somebody else. Because of the ego factor of greed. So like that, they they give the son to different people and get more money, more property, and kill the girl like that. That is happening in the past. We have seen in newspapers so many things, all because of ego. So dowry harassment are ego because of superiority, inferiority complex. These things takes place between husband and wife. And next is mother-in-law, daughter-in-law. This is the most common factor which we see in our day-to-day family life. So mother-in-law, she was earlier a daughter-in-law. When she was a daughter-in-law, she had the experience with her mother-in-law, adverse experiences, because this was going on for several life cycles. So every woman who is once a daughter-in-law becomes a mother-in-law later stage. And when she becomes mother-in-law, she having the experience of what the mother-in-law used to be, because they have the feeling. Because right from so whatever experience we face, that gets recorded in our subconscious mind. And when you are a daughter-in-law, you have been harassed by mother-in-law, means you want to take same that experience. Mother-in-law means should be like that only, and that got recorded in the subconscious mind. So when she becomes the daughter-in-law becomes mother-in-law, she takes the position of mother-in-law, and she want to take a supreme position in the family, and she want to suppress the rights of the daughter-in-law. Because of that, there is a simmering displeasure that takes place between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law in many of the families. But nowadays, in this generation, where most of the women are educated, when they enter into the family life as a daughter-in-law, they don't want to, because they are seeing the movies, they are seeing the mother, they are seeing the other people's family, how the mother-in-law is doing harassment to the daughter-in-law. If this this daughter-in-law is educated and bold, what she takes, she reverse back. So she doesn't want to accept the supremacy of her mother-in-law, and she reverts back on there, and she shows her supremacy. Because of that, there is a clash between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, in which the son who has to satisfy both the wife and the mother, he is put under big pressure. So this happens between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Of course, mother and son or mother and daughter, their mostly love and affection goes on, whereas daughter, she goes after marriage, she goes off. Mother's love and affection towards son will be more, because she will be continuing till the end. Of course, she takes care of daughter, even after they are getting married, she take care of their grandchildren and all. But there is limited extent, because once she going to another family, her role is limited, but her role is more confined with the son. Similarly, father and son. In this relationship, mostly in the younger age, father advises the son to do things, but son doesn't accept it. And that's why normally the wavelength between son and father will be something, but for which we have to maintain a good relationship between father and son. So, why the differences is arising? It's mainly because of the ego. Your father wants to establish because of his ego. He want to thrust on the son to study this one, to move in this way. Whereas son, because of his association with his friends and other outside people, he doesn't want to be suppressed. He wants liberty. So he go against his father. So this is because of this ego factor, this plays between father and son. Of course, father and daughter relations more or less good, because father has got more liking towards daughter. Similarly, brother and sister, we see in families, normally brothers and sisters always fight for silly things. Up to the age when the sister get married, till that period, the brother used to fight with her. But these are all mostly silly things, mainly because of desire. For one product, one object, both of them fight with each other. So these are all small desires which leads to fights between them. They complain against each other to their parents and get them beaten. They feel happy. So these are all the factors because of ego. So all these things and other relationships, father and father-in-law, they get clashes only when the son and daughter, that is son and daughter-in-law's relationship is not okay, and the dowry issues. All these things bring to this various kinds of family issues between someone is father and father-in-law, mother and mother-in-law, all these things. And ultimate final thing is about the cousins. Especially we have seen the Mahabharata between the cousins because of property, because of the kingdom. So similarly in our families we can see grandfather has got some ancestral property, he divides between the fathers, our fathers and uncles. There one want to usurp the other person's property because one portion it would not have been split because it remained interstate. So there one person want to usurp the property of others, where in fact he used witchcraft also to destroy the one family, and he uses the murderous activities also through committing accidents to destroy people, to usurp the property. These things are all we are seeing. All this mainly because of ego, that is greed on property, and that greed and the vengeance, because they want to see they enjoy themselves and they don't want to eliminate them and enjoy it. So when they are in power, that makes them to get the support of police and other people, destroy them, enjoy it. This happens quite a long time back. So these are all the negative factors of ego. So if you want to overcome these negative factors of ego, what is need to be done is one has to go inside deep themselves through Atma Vicharana, through Atma Samadhi Dhyana. The buddhi has to be taken to Atma conscious level and Supreme conscious level. The ego conscious level, until and unless the buddhi remains in the sensual and ego conscious level, it gets attracted by the external attractions, aversions, that leads to all kinds of anger, jealousy, hatredness. All this leads to only loss of peace. There will not be peace in anybody. And this is the main factor of ego which disturbs the peace in the family. When father and mother are fighting, the children suffer. When they go to divorce, the children doesn't know where to go, who has to take care. And in their schools and other friends, they tease them because of this family parents fight. So they don't find peace in them, and they get addicted to some alcohol and other things, and their life gets spoiled because of the ego factor between husband and wife. So like that, many things we are seeing in the family mainly because of the ego factor. So if one has to keep the family happily, the head of the family, husband and wife, both they are the head of the families. If they are fine, then their children, they can carry on their family happily. And both of them should know, they should realize their responsibilities by overcoming this ego, by taking their buddhi to Atma and divine conscious level. When they go inside, they can understand each other's plus and minus, and they can express love and affection through which one can forget about their past misgivings, and that generosity, that forgiveness, once it comes only when they go to the Supreme Atma and Supreme Consciousness. At that stage when they go, and they find real love and affection between them. Because when they go to Supreme Conscious level, the absolute universal love comes into them. And that universal love starts with family. Both the husband and wife can forgive and forget all the past, and they can live happily. Then that happiness comes to their children. And similarly, the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, what is past experience, just erase it. Once you go deep inside Atma, divine conscious level, they can understand, you are Atma, I am Atma. Why can't I see her daughter instead of being daughter-in-law? Because though I have suffered past from my mother-in-law, I should not face the same, I should not show the same hatredness against my daughter-in-law. Let me show love and affection. That comes when that mother-in-law's buddhi is being taken deep into Atma and divine consciousness. So every stage for all the relationships, once they go to Atma and divine consciousness, even among the cousins, they see, let us share equally and let live happily. After all, we live in this world for a short time. During this period, why to fight with each other for property, money, lust, all these things? Let us share everything. That comes only when the contentment comes only when the buddhi goes to Atma, divine conscious level. So one has to go deep, every person in the family. So so it is the duty of the head of the family to see that he guides the children, guides her family, guides her wife. And every person should take the responsibility in going deep inside themselves. That's why right from old age, our our ancestors, our yogis, they made it a point to make people to be divine. That's why we have a lot of temples. People go there, and once they sit there in temples, all people come with the divine thought. That's why positive energy generates. So that gives them the soothing effect on their mind. And they hear the Katha Kalakshepa and other things. So that is mainly because they want to keep inside. Once you go to Atma, divine consciousness, when you get contentment, when you get peace in the family, money doesn't bring peace. You can buy crores of rupees, but there will not be peace in the family. Money is not the fact. Even if a person remains in hut, he can live happily even if you get 10 rupees. With that, you can buy some biscuits and eat and have water and then sleep. Even if nothing comes, you have coolie, you can remain because there is nothing. Even if one day if you remain fasting, that is good for health also. So like that, not the question of money. Only thing, love and affection towards one another, if there is there, that brings real peace. When there is a peace of mind, there will be health. The health will be strong. Our immunity power will be strong. We don't have any ill disease. Today, crores of money people are having, but they got all kinds of disease, mainly because they don't have peace. If you want to peace, first thing is love yourself first, and you love all the people in the family. You love all the people in the society, and that comes only when you take your buddhi to Atma, divine consciousness. So that's why I'm asking people every day. I request people to go through this Atma Vicharana, Atma Samadhi Dhyana. Morning you do Atma Samadhi, and evening you do Atma Vicharana. Eradicate all the negativity in us before going to sleep, and resolve to not to commit the same mistake tomorrow, by which we slowly we remove that ego, ejection of godliness. That ejection goes out, comes instead of out, it comes in. So we bring in godliness in us. So by which we can bring peace in us, we can bring good health in us, we can bring peace in all the members of the family, and that's by which we can bring peace in the society, by which we can bring real peace in the world. So realize that we have to overcome this ego. By doing that, by going inside, realize you are not a body, you are Atma, and see the same Atma in everybody. And by going still further, Atma to divine conscious level, see, extend universal love on all. Let there be peace in you, let there be peace in family, peace in the society. Thank you.